Hi everyone! I'm going to read you a story today, and this story is called The Tiny King. Okay, this is a king, you see, with his crown on his head, crown. Okay, his sword, and he's a king. Can you say king? All right. And this king is not big. No, it's tiny. He's not big, he's tiny. He's a tiny king. All right, let's hear the story now. The Tiny King. Oh, look, he's not big, he's tiny. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a tiny king. The tiny king lived all alone in a big, big castle. This is a castle. It's big, a big castle, and this is a tiny king. He had an army of big soldiers. These are the soldiers. With long spears and stern faces. Wherever the tiny king went, the soldiers marched behind. You see, the tiny king is going here, and the soldiers march behind the tiny king. And they go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. This is left. This is right. And left foot, left, right, left, right, left, right. The tiny king ate alone. He's just one, alone. At a big, big table. A huge feast of delicious food, delicious food was laid out every day. But the tiny king was just one tiny person. He could never finish so much food all by himself. The tiny king had a big white horse. This is a horse. But he was so tiny and the horse was so big that he fell off. Every time he tried to ride, he couldn't ride here, he fell off. The tiny king had a big, big bathtub. He's taking his bath. It even had a water fountain. But splishing and splashing all by himself, just one, was never much fun. He seems to be sad. The tiny king bed was a big, big bed. But he slept in it all alone every night. Just one, he's all alone. The tiny king was so sad and so lonely that he never slept very well. Oh! Then one day, the tiny king fell in love with a big princess and asked her if she would be his queen. She said yes, and soon they were happily married. Not long after, the tiny king and the big queen were blessed with children, lots of children. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 children. Ooh, that's a lot. The tiny king was so happy, remember happy? That he sent his army of soldiers on holiday. He said, goodbye, go on holiday. They all marched off, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, back to their families. See the tiny king? Says goodbye. Now the tiny king castle was no longer felt so big. The children ran around. All the children, look, they're all here. All the children. They all ran around laughing and playing all day long. The tiny king and his family gathered round the big table every day. Together they had no trouble finishing the enormous feast of delicious food. All finished. And look, the big white horse pulled the tiny king and the big queen in a carriage, while the children rode on his back. Here they are on their way to picnic. Now bath time was a real riot. The tiny king and his family splished and splashed together every day. And what about the tiny king's big, big bed, where he had been so sad and so lonely? Well, when everyone snuggled up side by side, it was just the right size for everyone. And the tiny king slept soundly at last. Look, here he is, fast asleep. He's sleeping. Good night, tiny king. This is the end. Goodbye.